Good morning and welcome to day 2 of JanuDAILY. I am going to very quickly add a hair mask into my hair. I'm gonna let that hang out in my hair for a hot minute, rinse it out when I'm in the shower. It was supposed to be hair washing day yesterday. If you saw my video from yesterday, you know I didn't wash my hair because we are not superstitious over here, but we're not taking any chances this year because last year was rough. So I saw something that was like, you're not supposed to like wash or cleanse things away on January 1 because you're essentially like washing away your good fortune for the year. I don't actually believe that. I believe in God, and God is not superstitious, but it's just kind of funny to play into. And also, I'm not taking any chances. So let's add a hair mask and get this day started. I think it's like, what time is it? It is 6:15. I've already been up for an hour and a half, got yesterday's vlog ready to get published and had my coffee. And now it's time to get the day started. So let's do that. There has been something that I've been wanting to do since before Thanksgiving, and that's start a sourdough starter. This is what vlogging with a toddler in the same house is like, and I apologize, but that's just the reality of things. Also, the dog immediately starts drinking water the second I turn the camera on. Why? Okay, Heidi's have been wiped. Dog has satisfied her thirst, at least I think for now. Let's try this again. There's something I've been wanting to do for about a month now, and that's create a sourdough starter. I'm making it into a bigger deal than it actually is. I know this. I've done so much research. There's so much conflicting information out there. This started because a friend of mine brought a loaf of homemade sourdough to Friendsgiving, and it was literally the best thing I've ever eaten. Not exaggerating. It was so good. Now, granted, I am a carbs person. I love bread, so that makes sense. But oh my gosh, is it so good. And of course, after doing all of my research, I did also ask her what her advice would be. I borrowed a scale from my mother, and all of the information out there tells you to like be very precise and measure things out and blah, 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 blah. And my friend offered some advice that was music to my soul. I am a type A person with type B tendencies. I don't know how to explain it. I'm like a mishmash of both of those things. I want to do things right, but I get a little messy with things. And she gave me 2 pieces of advice. She does not use a scale. And she told me that sourdough starters are resilient. And so that was really good information for me. I did also ask her what her tips would be. So let me pull that up. Let's see. She said to do about 1/4 cup of wheat flour and about 3/4 cup white flour to 1 cup water. Feed only once per day for a little while, and then once you have some movement bubbles, you could go to twice a day if you want, but you don't have to. It'll probably take about 2-ish weeks. Now, before you're like, why am I listening to this person? She owned a bakery where she lived previously before she moved here. She just moved here last summer, or this past 2024 summer. So I feel like she knows her stuff, but also the proof was in the pudding because that bread was so good. She did offer a little bit of her starter to me, and I was like, if this fails miserably, I'll probably take you up on that, but I want to try it for myself first. So I've got my little jar that I'm going to be using, and we managed to find all of the lids because honestly, we use these mostly for drinking glasses, which if you need drinking glasses and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I got those from Walmart, like a whole case of them from Walmart, and I have them on our like open shelving, which is why I wanted something kind of cute. But they were cute, they went with the aesthetic, they were really cheap, and they come with lids, so that's awesome. What? You want to clean up dirt? Outside. Outside, clean up dirt? Outside. Okay, can I finish what I'm doing and then we'll go dig outside? Yes. Awesome. Cool beans. Okay, so let's actually get to mixing things. I did also learn it's supposed to be unbleached flour, and typically organic flour is unbleached. So let me fish out all the things that I need. and we'll do that. Okay, joke's on me, I did not actually buy wheat flour, and now I'm rethinking everything. So I think I'm just gonna do what I was taught online, and if this doesn't work, I'll fix it. What are you doing? Are you supposed to be in the refrigerator?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't think so, actually. Actually pretty sure you're not supposed to be. Okay, so it's zeroed out. Is it? Okay, I'm gonna do 50 grams of white flour and then 50 grams of water. But from what I understand, I should probably go a little more on the flour than I do on the water. You can't see me.
Right?
50 grams exactly. Perfect.
Perfect.
And I zeroed it back out. I'm gonna do 50 grams of water. All right, that's 49 grams. Oh, nope, right at 50. Okay. And then I bought these little spatulas. I'm just gonna mix. What? Oh, you want to mix?
Yeah.
I know, bub. Yeah, the snowman went back to Mr. Richard, honey. Add a little bit more water.
But it's still super cold. Sure you don't want to like, put some clothes on, eat some food?
No.
He ate eggs.
Yeah. No. Well, you definitely at least need to put clothes on.
No, eat eggs.
I know you ate eggs. It's very cold. You can't go run around outside in your pajamas.
I'm gonna clear the sides off just so I can manage to see if and when it has activity. So basically what I'm expecting, what I need to watch for is like activity as far as like if it rises up, it'll bubble back down. You'll start to see like bubbles happening in it, but I'm gonna put a rubber band on here, although I do have like markers on here, so I could probably tell from that. But I'm gonna put a rubber band just so it's an easier visual for us to pay attention to over the next month of what activity is happening. But you don't wanna cover it too much. So I'm just gonna lightly place this lid on top, but I'm not gonna screw it down. I'm actually gonna move that over just a little because you want air to be able to get into it. Let me go grab a rubber band, I'll be right back. I bought an entire ball of rubber bands to make a sourdough starter. I did, and that probably tells you everything you need to know about me as a person. But how lucky are we that the first one that I can pull off is a purple one, and purple is my favorite color. Okay, so we are gonna place this around the jar where we've started so we can keep track of whether or not we see any activity. And I do have some comfort to know that like if this does not work, I can just be like, Heather, may I please have some of your sourdough starter? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this hang out for 24 hours. We'll come back and check it tomorrow and feed it, which from what I understand, there's a whole process to that I don't really understand. So I'm gonna have to keep learning as we're going. But again, we're on this journey together. So we'll see where we get to. Hopefully by the end of this vlogging every day in January, I will have at least made my first loaf of sourdough out of a starter I created. That's the goal, that's the hope, that's the intention. But I'm open to other possibilities. It might not look like it, but it is a little while later, and I'm back in the kitchen, which apparently today is gonna be a very kitchen heavy day, but I'm getting ready to prep my coffee pods for the week. So I thought I'd actually share this with you because it's something that I've known existed since I got my Nespresso machine. When I got it, I also received a packet of these pods, and I had like, I think 2 of them, which is nice, but it takes a lot of work to like, it's obviously just more convenient to use the prepackaged pods where you like put one in the little machine, grab it and go. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm drinking a latte pretty much every single day, and the pods are still much more inexpensive than say like going to a coffee shop and getting a latte. But I wanna say that I'm paying like $6.80 or so for I think 6 or 8 pods. And I'm drinking one every single day, sometimes 2, because sometimes I'll do a double shot. And so it just kind of starts to get pricey. And so for Christmas, I got a large pack of these pods. The pods came, I think 10 in the big pack, and then I already had a handful of them already, and I still have some already pre-made. And I realized that the only way that I was actually going to consistently use these is if I continue to like take one day a week and pre-prep them, do the annoying thing of like dumping out the old grounds, taking off the sticker, washing them out, and then putting the espresso back in. The other thing I like about doing it this way, one, it's better espresso. Let's just be real, the stuff that's in the actual pods, not always the best stuff. It does the job, but it's not always like, it's not always that delicious. But we have local coffee shops that, I live in like a very remote area, and so I want to offer support to these things because I like going to the coffee shops for other reasons. Like my son likes to get cake pops from there. They have like a play area in there. All of my friends like to go there. So it's somewhere that I want to stay in business, and I think it's an asset to our area, but I'm not buying a latte from there every day. I just can't afford to do that. But I can afford to go and buy a bag of their espresso and have them grind it up for me. That way I'm still supporting their business and I'm still raving about their coffee. So if you want to go and get a latte from them, I won't say specifically, if you live in the area and you know who I am and where I live, you know what coffee shop I'm talking about, go. I'm probably not gonna tell you that because it would give you way too much information about where I live right now, but the coffee's still really good. And so it makes me feel a little bit better. But anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill up these pods for the week. And I thought I would share doing that. I just want to share real quick that I fill it up and then I use the little thing that it came with, the little scooper that it came with, and like press it down like you would with any other espresso. It also comes with like a little brush to be able to like brush the edges around. I'm too lazy for that, I just use my finger. But then they also come with the little stickers to close the capsule. And so just to give you a visual of like what it looks like to make one, it's just these little like aluminum stickers. You stick it on just like this, and then it's ready to go. Oh, what happened to it?
It's biting.
It needs batteries?
It's blue, Doctor.
I need the screwdrivers to put batteries in it?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you wait until I'm done doing what I'm doing?
But happy Mommy's birthday. Hey, Mom. Happy Mommy's birthday.
Can Mommy do it?
No, I do it.
Wade wants to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a much longer process when you want to do it.
I do it.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, Mom.
Okay, Wade. You gonna get your ladder?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get it.
You want me to get the ladder?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
It's really people.
Be very careful.
Really people, Mom.
Okay, I'll be very careful, Wade.
It's you.
I won't get hurt. Not Bailey. You might get hurt though, Diggles. So do you want to hold or do you want to scoop?
Good in both.
You want to do both?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I show you what to do? And then you do it? Or you just want to do it? Here, I'll hold it for you. You scoop it in. It sounds like Cammy's out. There you go. Good. Good job. Okay, another scoop.
Good. I found.
How was Campbell? You want to go find him?
Yeah.
Okay, go find Cammy. I'll be here waiting when you're done. Just be gentle with him, okay?
I missed.
Okay, let me do this one and then it'll be your turn, okay? Just wait just 1 second. Wait.
What? Mom? Hey, ready, Goose?
Yeah, I'll tell you to scoop.
No, I hold it.
Can I hold it?
No.
So it's right here over this. So if we spill any, it goes right back in this bowl. Is that a good idea? Wow. Good job.
I'm paper.
Well, we gotta fill it a little bit more. We gotta put some more in. You want me to do the next scooping or you wanna do it? I'm not quite done scooping. That's a big scoop. Mama's gonna help you, hold on. You're making a mess. Push. Okay. I'm gonna go like this. And let's put your hand in there. There you go. Mama's gonna put her hand there.
Wait.
Okay, now we're ready for the sticker. Okay, you wanna peel it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Get the tab. There you go. Very careful. Hold on. There you go. Okay, and then you line it up. Okay, and then you press it down. Wow. Stop making faces at the camera, you doof. And you're just gonna be the show stealer?
No, I do.
You do it. This was supposed to be mommy doing it.
Let go.
Not with your hand. Oh, you want to hold it?
Yeah.
Okay. You know this is so hard for me.
You can peel it. Are you both doing well?
Oh, here you go.
It's mommy's birthday, Dad.
You made your mommy's
Mommy's
coffee?
breakfast?
No
Yeah.
coffee.
Oh, these are breakfast.
Here, do you want to scoop more? Yeah, scoop more.
Okay. Thanks.
Mommy had it for breakfast.
Yes.
So yeah.
More scoop?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, press it down. Good. Maybe a little baby scoop.
Okay.
Oh, that's a little baby scoop. Great baby scoop. Okay, can you hold on to it while I get the sticker?
My daddy.
You want to go find him? This is so hard for my anxiety. It's just I can't. Just no, not in the bowl. Okay. I just keep my coffee in a cleaned out candle jar from Bath and Body Works. Perfect. Awesome. Well done.
What? All done.
Well done. And this is just my little coffee setup. Is it 2 o'clock and I'm just gonna put my makeup on? Yes. Was I pretty much going to have a makeup-free day? I was. I really don't know what made me change my mind. But I figured while I did my makeup, we can discuss what I like to do is called like a life audit. I do it periodically throughout the year. I probably don't do it as often as I should. I'd like to be a little bit more intentional about it. But basically what I do is I reflect on different situations from the year and determine like what was working for me and what wasn't. And then also on like a grander scale of things, looking at just my life on a whole and recognizing the things that I learned to be true about myself so that I no longer, I think we all kind of have this tendency to kind of force things to be a certain way or to approach things a certain way or just be a certain way ourselves based on what we're seeing, what we're consuming, who we're surrounding ourselves with, even though we know something else to be true about ourselves. And so sometimes it's just good and important to kind of give yourself the reminder that you need to know that like, hey, there's proof that in years past, this really hasn't worked for me. And I know that this is actually an approach that does work for me. And so I took some time over the last couple of days to kind of really reflect on the year and just my life in general. And I wanted to kind of discuss some of the things that I've learned in that process. Not that you need to do any of the things that I'm doing, but I will say that having done these over time and like having these kinds of conversations with friends, I've learned a lot from listening to the things that they've learned and then vice versa. And so if this could be helpful to you in any way, I thought I would share and do my very basic makeup at the same time. And I'm also sneaking my Christmas candy because you know, if you have a toddler, that the only way to consume treats in your house is to sneak them. Okay, I've got my little list and we are ready. I'm not gonna talk at all about the makeup that I'm using, but I will make sure that I have everything that I use listed down below. I don't do anything fancy. So if you're looking for fancy, it's not here. But if you're somebody that doesn't really wear a lot of makeup, this might be more your style. So let's talk about what I know doesn't work. This is something I learned last year, but also like in years past. It's a lesson I keep learning over and over again. And I have heard that you will keep getting served the same lesson over and over again until you learn it. And I feel like I'm getting ready to learn it for good now. All or nothing tendencies, not my jam. I have got to let that part of my soul die. I have this like thought process in my mind. If I'm not going all in on something, then I might as well just not waste my time. And that has kept me so stuck in the same cycle over and over again. And I'm specifically speaking about like goal chasing and creative endeavors. And I'm like, if I can't do all of it all at one time, then it's just not even worth doing it all, which is such a joke. And I've learned that lesson over and over again. What I do know works is small incremental progress. The thing that I have written down here is like slow and steady, which we all know. We've heard the story of the tortoise and the hare, slow and steady wins the race. We know this. I am not slow. I am not steady. That's not my MO 90% of the time. And I wonder why I end up in the same place over and over and over again. To kind of go along with that lesson, something else that I've learned is to focus on the task, not the outcome. The outcome is the goal, and obviously that's where I'm trying to get to, whatever it is. But if I can focus on the thing that needs to get done consistently and continue to show up consistently doing that thing, the goal eventually gets accomplished. So I have a couple of examples of this from my life in the past, which the first one I can think about is I used to only drink, I only used to have Coke. I used to only drink Coca-Cola. or like any kind of soda. And I wasn't even going for the diet stuff. Like I was going all in for like the goods. And I knew I needed to be drinking more water. I was having trouble with my kidneys, and it was the tale as old as time. Like I cycle repeat itself, right? I would go to the doctor, I'd get treated for a kidney infection. They'd tell me to drink more water, and I would continue to be like, I'm gonna quit soda. No, they didn't tell me to quit drinking soda. They told me to start drinking water. And it finally clicked on me that I was like, oh, I don't necessarily have to focus on the thing I need to quit. I need to focus on the thing that I need to be doing. And so I created a new approach, which was that I was going to allow myself to have soda only after I reached my water intake goal for the day. Well, eventually what happened is I was so busy drinking water and I was so satisfied from drinking water that eventually I just stopped wanting soda. That was 12 years ago, and I might have a diet soda once a quarter. And that's really only if like I'm eating fast food, it just comes with the meal. So focusing on the task in that hand actually accomplished the goal better than if I had focused on the thing I was trying to quit. I also did this, when I was reworking, I had written the book several years earlier. I'd written it just to do it. And so when I finally got serious about wanting to like publish it and do something with it, it needed a lot of work. There was a lot of work that needed to be done. This was even before I decided to send it to an editor. It needed a lot of work. And I would get in my seat every day at the same time, and I would keep my eyes on the computer and just keep tapping away. And day after day, I would feel like I wasn't getting anywhere, that I wasn't actually making any progress. And that was really discouraging. And I knew what I needed to be doing, but I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere because there really wasn't any visual proof that I was making any actual progress. And so I decided to partner that whole process with doing the Couch to 5K program. I was a super sedentary person. I mean, like, couldn't run to the end of my driveway sedentary. And so I was not the kind of person that could run at all. And if you've ever done something like the Couch to 5K program, it is intended for sedentary people. It is intended for the unathletic person, the person that is not someone who's ever run before ever. And so the first few weeks, you kind of look at the task at hand, and you're like, this is kind of a joke, until you're doing it and realize that running for 30 seconds and then walking for 3 minutes is actually a lot harder than you think it's going to be. However, if you do it on day 1 and then day 2 and day 3, the next time you have a program shift and it's time to now run a minute or 45 seconds, all of a sudden you can run for those 45 seconds when you couldn't have the day before. So it was like a visual representation or like a physical representation of the progress that I was trying to make at the computer. And sure enough, as I finished the Couch to 5K program and ran my first 5K, I also completed my edits, sent them off to the editor. It was a good way to kind of like track the progress, but also this reminder that butt in seat, or like focusing on the task, doing the thing, eventually gets you where you're trying to go. And like, I know that approach works, but it's so funny how many times I still get caught up in this idea that it has to all be done right now, as fast as possible, and I need something to show for it right now, or it's not worth anything. That is the biggest lie I tell myself. I guarantee you that is the #1 reason that I haven't accomplished a lot of the things that I want to do with my life, is because in my mind, if I'm not going all in, it's a waste of time, even though I know the opposite is the actual truth. It's like this lie that I continue to tell myself and get stuck in that trap of believing, and then it keeps me inactive. It keeps me from actually doing the things that I know are going to get me where I want to go, because I deem them a waste of time. which is not true. Kind of along those same lines, this all kind of goes hand in hand, because if you haven't figured this out about me yet, I tend to carry themes throughout my life. It's a painful thing, but it's true, which we learned yesterday. Slow and steady, or like slowing down, was the theme of this year, apparently. I had no idea until I was like halfway through sharing what I wanted to do more of this year. And apparently the thing I need to do the most is slow down, which I should just tattoo on my forehead. I learned and have learned, this is not just from last year, this is part of like the bigger life audit, which a lot of the things I just discussed also were as well. Because again, I tend to learn the same lessons over and over and over again. When will I actually learn? Your guess is as good as mine. Is that the creating feels better than consuming. I know I'm not alone in this, because otherwise doom scrolling would not be a thing, but I'm the type of person that, like, I tell myself that scrolling the internet and like consuming content is a very important part of my job. And it is to an extent. And it's my job to protect the boundaries that I have in place for that, in order to protect the creative process that I have. And there's a very fine line between consuming for inspiration and consuming resulting in comparison, which is then going to completely stop all progress forward, because in my mind, I'm not good enough, or someone already did it, they did it better than I ever could, and then you just stay in this state of inaction. Okay, we had a candy situation, but I did get paid the mom tax, so all is well in the world. I'm gonna try to remember where I was at. I'm not entirely sure. I think I was talking about creating versus consuming. And that also like goes along with the like theory I've always had for my life. And I've shared this before, like on my blog or Insta stories, podcast, back when I had a podcast. And it's that the doing feels better than the wishing. And we tell ourselves that we don't feel great, and so we're not going to do the thing because we don't feel great. But what we don't realize is that the doing is what's going to start to make us feel better. And so if we put our phones down, stop scrolling for a second, and just focus on our own paper, and I mean that literally, like focus on your own projects, focus on the things you want to do. Do what you need to do for inspiration, but know where the boundary lies. Know where it starts to get a little bit hairy and dicey for you, and respect yourself enough to step away from that, and respect the stuff you want to create enough to step away from that. And you just think about like how much time we spend comparing ourselves to others that we forget to like focus on the impact we can have. So again, know the difference between how you feel when you're in a state of creating versus when you're in a state of consuming. That was a huge lesson I've learned over and over and over again. I'm gonna kind of speed through these last ones because I'm basically done with my makeup and I'm still yapping your brains out. And I don't know that I have a mirror to do this with. So this one is something I learned. Obviously I could have learned it in the past, and I probably have learned it in the past in different ways, but this is specific to the situation we've been dealing with my son and his development and all of that kind of stuff. The key is to stay persistent and just keep pushing forward, even if you don't know where forward necessarily is. And again, you guys are probably gonna be like, you and this Frozen 2, but like there's a lot of truth to the just do the next right thing, and what you know to be the next right thing in that moment may not actually be the right thing, but it'll be the right thing that reveals the truth about what the real right thing is. It's so uncomfortable to be in a situation like that where you just don't know what to do and you don't know what you should be doing, and there's no like clear guidelines, and there's certainly no rule book or playbook or really a lot of resources for help, because every situation is different. Like, it's so uncomfortable to be in a situation like that, and it's really discouraging, and it's scary, and it's uncomfortable, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. But I promise you, if you keep persistent and just keep pushing forward, eventually you'll like chip your way down a path that reveals a bigger path that'll come along with like people that maybe have done the thing before, or you'll learn something new. You will get there if you just kind of keep pushing through that discomfort and trust yourself enough to know that you are doing what you know is best to do in a certain moment, and that you're open to learning what you need to learn to continue going forward, and accepting that maybe what you thought you knew wasn't right, or being open to knowing that like maybe what you thought was the next right thing to do wasn't actually the next right thing to do, but it revealed the truth, right? And it's a lot of like having to humble yourself to recognize that you don't know anything, because in a situation like that, you don't, and you might not. And all you can do is keep moving forward and being comfortable enough with being wrong to learn what is right. Eventually, the path forward and like the right solution will be revealed, and it is likely going to be something that you didn't even know existed. So like if you're like me, who's somebody who I like to know exactly what I need to be doing, exactly when I need to be doing it, exactly how I need to be doing it. And I rush to resolution, right? Like I want to fix it, and I want to fix it now. But sometimes you have to go through the slow and steady, uncomfortable process before the solution can be revealed. And I learned, especially this last year, that sometimes the solution is something that I didn't even know existed. This was a very important lesson that I learned that I think I'll carry with me for the rest of my life, and it will offer comfort whenever I find myself in a situation like that again, where I'm like, I don't know what to do here. And maybe if nothing else, it can help alleviate some of the fear and pain in my heart. And so if that's something you're dealing with right now, I hope that knowing that eventually you will get there. Eventually you will get there. Eventually there will be help. Eventually there will be a resource. Eventually it will show up. You just gotta keep going. Like you just have to keep moving forward with what you know and what you have when you have it. This one's a quick one, so I won't ramble too much, but this is something I've learned a lot over the years, but I definitely learned it last year. Neglecting yourself isn't noble. I'm gonna say it again because it's important. Neglecting yourself is not noble. And the last one, again, I'm probably not going to elaborate too much on it because it speaks for itself, but also just not necessary. Trust your gut, especially if you're somebody who has those like deep-rooted instincts. You know who you are if you are that kind of person. We're just wired differently, I think. But every single time I've gone against my gut or my instincts, I've regretted it. And as I've gotten older and life has gotten more complicated, sometimes my gut is so sure about something and it breaks my heart. And that's a tricky place to be in, when like your gut knows something as fact and your heart is trying to tell you to ignore it. That's a hard place to be in, but I have learned over time that my gut is always right. And sadly, that's been confirmed a lot over time. And I tried to be an optimist, but it's such a weird place to be somebody that's like deeply instinctual and optimistic because sometimes those are conflicting. But your gut usually knows best. Like I said before, you'll know if you're that type of person. If you're someone that's like, oh, that's not for you. I'm talking to the people that know their gut. Just trust your gut. Okay, I'm pretty much done doing my makeup. Kid seems to be melting down and it's probably time to find something else to do for the day. We're skipping naps, which is important. Like we're trying to make him skip naps, but it makes for a trickier day. But I'm gonna eat my Whoppers, which is my mom tax, and I'll be back. I didn't bring my camera. We had a lovely Chinese dinner at my sister's house and got to say goodbye to my brother and my nephews and my sister-in-law, and that was really nice. And we're back home. Buddy is doing bath time, then bedtime, and honestly, I'm heading in that direction too. It is only 7:45, but I am literally exhausted. I don't know if it's just like the ending of the holiday situation, but anyway. I'm also have put together, like compiled the footage from earlier today, and we're already at like 40 minutes for a vlog, which is insanity. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for being here. If any of this content resonated with you, or you just happen to think like we're the kind of people that could be friends, please hang out, comment, subscribe, like the video, whatever. I do have a goal to try to get to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So if you want to help me get there, that would be awesome. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.